Back for another segment of our summer updates of Coaches Club, and today I'm joined by the recently inducted Virginia National Hall of Fame coach, our coach, wrestling coach Jesse Castro. How you doing?
Gabe, thank you for having me here.
I know you hate talking about yourself, but you were already inducted to the Liberty Athletics Hall of Fame. Now you're in the National Hall of Fame. How does it feel just, passing that next milestone?
Well, as I've said to other people, it's not something that you aspire to when you first get into the profession, but after spending 35 years as a coach, it's nice to be recognized on that level. And I've been to the National Hall of Fame in Oklahoma City, and and to know that my name's going to be up there is quite an honor.
I got to start the interview. I feel like every time we talk, we always talk about Josh Ferenzi. Now this guy's gone. He was a great asset to the the wrestling program. We can talk all day about him, but replacing him, how do you replace him going into next year? I know you got guys Taylor Westlake and Brandon Robinson that you talk about, but who are some other guys that you will use to replace him?
Well, replacing Josh Ferenzi is going to be very difficult, not just in terms of his wins and losses and contribution athletically to the program, but also in terms of his leadership. I mean, he was a leader not only by example, but he was also a leader verbally too. So replacing that's going to be tough. But we do have guys that are going to be stepping up. I'm going to be calling on our heavyweight Johnson. He's a tough wrestler. He's gained the respect of a lot of guys, and Dominic is a leader at heart. So I'm looking for him to step up. I'm looking for, of course, Brandon Robinson, like you said, at 149. He's going to have to really step up and lead this team as well. And I honestly, though, I think probably our cornerstone is going to be Taylor Westlake, because he's just an incredibly hard worker, and he has the respect of the team.
You've already been restarting the recruiting trail so far. You've signed guys like Blake Justice, Chad Cantrell. So what can those guys bring to the program this upcoming year that you're excited about?
Well, yeah, those are two of a few of other ones too, but those guys are local kids, and so it's nice to be able to pick some of the prime fruit from local wrestling here. But I look for those guys to jump on board. They know our program. I've coached these guys since they were knee-high to a grasshopper through our Virginia Gold Club, wrestling club. So I know them, they know me, they know our program, they know what's expected. And I think that they're, from what I can gather from them, they're on board. They've bought into the program, and they want to succeed. They want to see the program succeed. So I'm really looking forward to guys like that and the other incomers as well.
Nice. And with some of those guys returning, and with the finish that you guys had this past season, you were runner-up. You lost to Emanuel. Is getting that revenge on Emanuel the goal this year, or is just one match at a time, one set at a time?
Well, I've learned, Gabe, not to get overly excited until you actually step on the mat, because anything can happen. I mean, we've had kids that were committed here and stay a day and leave just because they got homesick. So you never know what can happen, injuries, etc. So we're taking one match at a time. I mean, I think we have a solid core group to build upon. I think that we can have a lot of success this coming year building upon that. But we got to put the puzzle together. I mean, they're, as you well know, through whatever kind of program that you're dealing with, whatever sport, things got to fall into place. And so, we're going to make do, and we're going to go for a national championship.
Nice. And you already answered my next question. Is the goal national championship next year? What's just the team goals for this upcoming season?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's a national championship. But, like I said, one day at a time. I mean, our objective right now is to get them back and get into our preseason training, get them in the strength training with Chris. He does a terrific job for us, our trainer, and then from there start our preseason tournaments. In November, we've got a lot of wrestling to do. Our guys will get in, 15, 20 matches before the winter time, and so. We're going to take one step at a time, but the goal is a national championship, and I think it's attainable. But we got to put things together.
Right. And lastly, summertime. Do you send those guys home with workouts and stuff for them to do, or it's one of those things like you know your body. If you want to win, the work to put in the off season.
I would say it's a little of both. By the way, yes, we do send them home with a program, and usually, Gabe, we can tell the guys that come back in the fall that have actually followed it.
Okay.
I mean, when they're hacking in the garbage can, when they come back and we start our preseason, you have an idea that they probably didn't do the cardio that they were supposed to do. or the strength training program as well. But for the most part, I think guys are on board and they're pretty motivated. They know what they have to do, and if they want to be a national champion individually as well as a team, they're going to have to pay the price off season. It's inevitable, and so my hope is that they're paying that price and that they're going to come back ready to go and try to attain that national championship.
Nice. Well, thanks, Coach, for your time. We'll catch up with you
Thank you.
before tryouts this year. For Coach Castro, I'm Gabe Henderson for LFSN, signing off.